Good day, Pat the Backyard Builder here. Part 2 of our sexy planter video. Right now what we're doing is we're just getting ready to start putting in the plaster and doing the working to build the model. And once we build the model, then we'll go through the mold making process. But for now, what we've got here, we've got a pre-mixed drywall compound that we're using for our plaster, and we've got ourselves some gloves and a little spatula which we're using to put the plaster inside the model. And what we're trying to do here, I've basically hollowed out the bottom of the planter, and what it looks like, it's just like an ordinary planter. You know, it goes down into the hips and then comes up here, and you know, that is, of course, is where the dirt is going to go. And then I've hollowed out the one leg, and I've kind of sloped the bottom of it so it all works into a drain channel, and then I've got everything sloped so it goes down the one leg. And then we're going to do all of our plaster work here now. We've got the one hip that's articulated. You notice the top of the plant pot is here and the hip is way over here. Well, this foam here is all hollow, and that needs to be filled in so that the main body of the planter, where the plant sits, it sits right directly below the opening. It's not absolutely has to be that way. It just makes the mold making a whole lot easier, because what we're going to do when we do the mold making process, we're going to put our latex in, and we're going to build a plug to fill this area, and then build a shell over that. And the plug making portion will just be a whole lot easier if I can just make it so it simply sits in and pulls out rather easily, rather than making a complicated plug that has to go into an undercut. It can be done, but it's just a whole lot easier if you just keep things simple to begin with. Once we have done the plastering on the inside here, one thing I did here, I did cut into the edge here quite a bit to roughen up so the plaster would grab a little easier. I did that with the Dremel tool when I was doing the cutting out. And then once we get the inside of the plaster all filled, then we'll start fixing up these dings and dents on the outside. And then of course we'll put the swimming bottoms on, or underwear, whatever decide to use, and then we'll do the final touches on making the model look good before we make the mold. Right, well, let's get to work. Okay, basically what I'm doing here is I'm simply filling the inside of the cavity with drywall mud. I'll turn this light on here so you can see inside the cavity. There's a big hollow out spot on the one side of the hip there that needs to be filled in, and just on this side, because if we see where the hip's articulated, it doesn't quite line up with the where the flower pot itself is going to be. You know, this is the cavity for the flower, where the dirt is going to be. But you know, so what we're going to do, we're basically filling in this side of the hip here, which is hollow. And as we go, we just take the drywall compound and fill in this area here. We build up this wall. Now, one thing about this drywall compound, it shrinks a lot as it dries. It's got a lot of water in the compound, and it will shrink quite a bit, and because it shrinks, it will have some fairly good sized cracks in it. It's going to take a couple of days to dry because we're putting on really, really thick, but it will eventually dry out here, and we're just making everything into that nice smooth round pottery container look. Eventually everything will have the slope and the draft that we need for a plant pot. Okay, and that's about it for today. Basically what we have to do now is just allow this to dry. It's going to take a couple of days. There's some very, very deep parts of the plaster where it's going to take a long time to dry out. But probably in a couple of days it'll be hard enough that we can sand it and smooth it off. And basically the idea is to sand it and fill it and sand it and fill it until you get pretty much perfection, and you're happy with the work. And once the planter has been the model's been prepared, well then you start the mold making process. But that's it for now. We'll set this aside and we'll just let it dry, and we'll see you in a couple of days.